Disappointed in the way we finished the game the other night and weren't able to find a way versus Central Florida. And doesn't get anything but get more difficult right now. Headed to Memphis here for a very challenging game versus a extremely well-coached ball club, team that is high-powered on offense and a very strong defensive team. Holding teams to 39% field goal percentage defense, and we know what kind of atmosphere it will be in there. So, going to be a great challenge for our guys.
When you look ahead to the Tigers, obviously Dave's going to get the majority of the action for them. What's the game plan to try and contain him?
What the word contain is the word, and we know what a dynamic player is, one of the very best guards in the country in terms of, and also their duo with him and DeAndre Williams, but just they have great depth down the line. But Kendrick Davis is just a dynamic scorer. He's someone that makes them go on offense in transition, makes them go in the half court. He can get to the basket, he can shoot the ball, and he's really the head of the snake for them on defense as well in terms of turning teams over. They force 16 turnovers a game. He and Lomax, familiar with Alex Lomax, very tough guard that can really spearhead what they do defensively. So I don't know if there's any one game plan that anybody has, and if someone has it, I'd love them to let me know about it.
How key will it be to limit live ball turnovers, not let them get out in transition, and because they're always so athletic and fast and can score in bunches that way?
Yeah, that's as big a key as any, and it doesn't matter if it's on the road or at home. When you play Memphis or any team that forces as many turnovers as they do, and not only force turnovers, we've seen that we've had games where we force turnovers and we struggle to convert on those sometimes. They are really good at doing that. Not only do they force the turnovers, but they are a dynamic team getting out and running and finishing, and now you put that in their building and what that would do to the crowd and what that does to momentum and gets them even more aggressive on defense. So we have to make sure that we can take care of the basketball. It's going to be a premium.
You came from Tennessee. I imagine you probably had some recruiting battles with Penny when you were there. What's your relationship with him? Any good stories that you have from the past?
No, Tennessee is interesting. I mean, it's such a wide state, and Memphis is on the western part of the state, and Knoxville, University of Tennessee, is in the eastern part of the state. So you don't always end up in that. Yeah, there were some, but just great respect for Coach Hardaway and what he does there. Frank Haith, one of the coaches on the staff there, is someone that I have tremendous respect for, friendship with, someone the ultimate admiration for. Worked with him at Texas when he was an assistant, and then was fortunate enough to work for him at University of Miami, and then as well at Tulsa. So I know what kind of dynamic coaching staff they have, and Coach Hardaway has built that program to a national power, and they're playing as good as anybody is right now. We've just crossed paths when we've played at Tennessee and Memphis, and sometimes in recruiting, but just great respect for them.
You guys have a pretty quick turnaround going on the road. They had some time off. What type of extra challenges does that create too?
We definitely, they had the midweek bye, and we come off of the game versus Central Florida, but that's scheduling, at some point maybe we're going to end up having some time off before we play someone, whether it's at home or on the road. That's just part of conference scheduling, and I know they've had great preparation leading into it, and we just have, the game is Saturday, and we got to both be ready to play.
You mentioned getting to the rim on some of those fast breaks, and also in the half court, y'all were at the rim, with some contested layups, unable to finish. Is there anything you can do in practice to work on that, or is it just more of an experience thing?
I think the experience is part of it, going through it, and we do it daily. We do it. It's a huge part of what we do in practice. And, when we played Temple, we struggled finishing at the rim. We went to Wichita State. We made shots at the rim. We played versus UCF. We weren't back as quite as good as we were finishing at the rim. So I do think that's the experience part. The more we get there, the more they're there. I think we shot 35 free throws versus Temple. That means you're at the rim. You're getting there. So we're having success with some of it. We're just not able to completely capitalize every time, and it's something we can continue to work on every day in practice. Yes.
What's your thoughts on Caleb's season to this point, about halfway through as a freshman? How has he handled it?
Caleb
LeCount?
Yeah, I think Caleb is getting better. We've challenged Caleb, that we understand. Obviously he started last game, and I thought he did a really good job. The area that he was really good last game was defending. I thought Caleb did a really good job doing some things that we asked him that we need him to do defensively, and he did that in the last game. And Caleb is someone that can score the basketball, and there's never going to be great pressure on him to score, but Caleb would be the first to tell you that he got 3 really good looks last game, and I think he expects himself to knock down 1 or 2 of those. And he will. But been really proud of Caleb in terms of anytime you're playing the point guard spot as a freshman and you got to come in, he's got a good guy to look up to and play with in Javon Small. And I think they've been a nice tandem, and they're both growing.
Anything else?
Last one. You mentioned, we talked about with Ezra last game, rebounding. Do you feel like it's more of is it a mentality thing, or is it a position understanding thing with him right now?
Probably both, because I think the mentality is to be aggressive and to go get rebounds. And I think when you are that, you learn positioning. If you're going to just stand and watch and be a ball watcher, or you're going to stand away from the basket, or what most young guys do, shot goes up, they run right underneath the rim. And I tell them, man, the only rebound you're getting is when it goes through the net, and that doesn't count as a rebound. So those are things that he's learning. Ezra has all the ability to be a dynamic rebounder. And it's just understanding that you got to go every time. You got to understand the importance of it, the intensity that it takes. And he's going to get there. He's going to get there. You know what? I would say this about Ezra, and this is why we love coaching him so much. I think he's able to look in the mirror and say, yeah, averaging 3.5 rebounds right now, I want to be better. It's not just because the coaches or we're challenging him to. He knows he needs to be better. And I think he's accepted that. And we talked about it a lot since the UCF game. And I think he's going to really show a great effort there, and it's going to take time to get to where he wants to be, and we need him to be as a rebounder, but he's going to do it, and we have full belief in that.